Live on a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon, but it's all rain and clouds for Cleveland Browns, for the Cleveland Browns and Cleveland Browns fans. I'm Adam the Bull. This is the Bullpen. It's a Browns postgame edition brought to you by Bet Rivers. If you're not a subscriber to the podcast, please do so. It's very simple. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching live on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching live on Twitter, please go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Continue watching on Twitter if you like. We got a lot to get to in this post game. An absolutely dreadful performance by Joe Flacco and the Browns offense. The defense kind of fell apart after playing great. Fell apart in the second half after playing great in the first half. But a lot of that I blame the offense on. And I want to let you know that if you want to play, you want to get in the mix. Players at Bet Rivers who place a qualifying same-game parlay of at least $10 on eligible NFL or NCAA football games will receive one standard entry into the weekly Squares game. Winning standard squares will be awarded a prize of a $20 bonus bet. I won in the pool. Also, we did the obviously the elimination pool. And I picked the Ravens this week. Why? Because I knew, I thought the Ravens offense would go crazy. In the end, they did for 41 points, and, they put up a lot of points. But the Browns defense held their own, especially early. I mean, the Ravens only finished with 243 yards, so it's hard to blame the defense too much. I can't give them a total pass when it's 41 points. But you know what? Most of this is on the offense. And the Browns are the king of the pass. And for years under this current regime, a lot of us in the media have just continued to give the Browns a pass. Well, they don't have a quarterback yet. I feel like no other fan base makes this excuse. And I'm done with it at this point. This team's got to win some games. This team's got to be more competitive than they were today, because they weren't. Like, the defense was competitive, but the offense wasn't. And the Browns offense once again scores 17 points. They get 7 in garbage time with Dylan Gabriel, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But the offense was hideous outside of Quinshon Judkins, who showed some life late in the game. He had a nice little 31-yard run. Outside of that, he was 9 for 30. But it was good to see him out there, and I do think there's a lot of potential in the combo of Judkins and Sampson. But you know what? We all love Joe Flacco. I'm done. I'm finished. 25 of 45, 199 yards, a touchdown, a pick. He averaged 4.4 yards per attempt. I mean, you can't get much worse than that. Jerry Jeudy dropping balls again, only caught half his targets for 51 yards. Harold Fannin did what he could. I thought Fannin and Njoku played well. They had combined. Fannin had 5 catches on 5 targets for 48. Njoku 4 of 5 for 40. But Jerome Ford stinks. And there's just no consistency in the passing game. And in this NFL, you got to have a quarterback that can move a little bit. Joe Flacco, he only got sacked twice, but he's taken a lot of hits. He can't move. He looks like he's in quicksand. I don't blame him. He's 40 years old. He no longer should be a starting quarterback in the NFL. The Browns' offense is just pathetic. It's been pathetic for like 5 years. Year after year, we have to sit through this shit and look for the silver lining. Well, that guy's good. This guy played well. As we waste careers. Myles Garrett, again, very impactful in this game. Mason Graham made some impactful plays. Schlesinger did his thing. I thought Greg Newsome played well again in this game. Myles Garrett's got 3.5 sacks already, 2 tackles for a loss. The defense did. It's crazy to say the defense played well. I mean, they did. Again, it fell apart a little late, but that was really on the offense. The turnovers, it's just pathetic. The Ravens in the second half, they They get the ball after, let's see, the drive started at the Cleveland 5 after the interception. So that touchdown I could hardly put on the defense, right? They stopped them for a field goal earlier in the game from the 1 yard line. And then, yes, in the fourth quarter, it completely came off the rails as the Ravens started further down the field. And where'd they start that drive? At the 33. And they marched down the field. And that drive was bad for the defense. 10 plays, 63 yards, 636. And that kind of put it away at 27-10. So you want to kill them for that? I'm not saying the defense was fantastic. But then the Browns fumbled. And then, it's not like the Ravens were moving the ball. The defense is good enough to win, but there's just so much you can do when the offense is completely inept. And that's the situation here. The offense is completely inept. Flacco had a couple of moments last week. I know we had a moment with Joe in 23. I love the guy. But he stunk last year in Indianapolis. He hasn't played particularly well so far. He was fine in the first game. He was fine. I'm just sick of that. I'm sick of having to be fine. He's fine. It's all right. It's just not good enough. Let the kid play. Dylan Gabriel. I don't, good throw for the touchdown to Dylan Sampson. That was an unbelievable catch by Cedric Tillman on the one Flacco touchdown. That should have been picked. That should have been another. If we're gonna give Joe Flacco a pass for the 2 interceptions, well, he should have had another interception in this game. So we can't give a pass for that if we're gonna say those interceptions weren't his fault. I mean, he did a pretty good job on Lamar Jackson. He only ran twice. The Ravens couldn't run at all. They held Derrick Henry to 23 yards. The Ravens in total, 20, take out the Cooper rush at the end, 18 carries for 48 yards. I mean, you held the Ravens to 2.5 yards per carry. Hopkins made a great catch at the goal line, which he thought was a touchdown. Zay Flowers made some great plays. But the Browns' ineptitude offensively, between the turnovers and their inability to move down the field at all, led to Baltimore getting easy scores. And that's exactly what happened. You see the Ravens. Here's the Ravens scoring drives. 8 plays, 24 yards, field goal. 2 plays, 24 yards, touchdown. 7 plays, 51 yards, field goal. Okay, that's a legit drive. 4 plays, 5 yards, touchdown. 10-66, touchdown, legit. 3-36, touchdown. They only had 2 drives where they moved the ball. Like, made a significant drive down the field. But when you have the worst offensive team in the league, which the Browns probably do, and I'll tell you something else. The offensive line looks like shit right now. I do not like what I'm seeing there. And the offensive line, for all the talk, and listen, we all know the Browns need a quarterback, but they need offensive line as well. You got nothing until you got the quarterback. I get it. But Joe Burrow got knocked out of his game today because the offensive line couldn't protect. The Bengals came back and won with their backup quarterback. Bengals win, Steelers lose today. But this offensive line is going to become a big problem here. Conklin hurt. DeJuan Jones was in and out of the game. They're looking old. Right now, they can't run the ball. They can't run block very well. It's concerning. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think you have to be seriously concerned if you're a Browns fan right now about what you're seeing there, about what you're seeing all over the offense. There's very little to hang your hat on outside of the rookies. That's the most promising thing right now. I like what I've seen. I like what I saw from Judkins, the early signs from him. Sampson, wasn't much today, but I like what I've overall. I feel good about him, and I feel good about Fannin. He's had 2 nice games in a row. But the offense stinks. I'm not going to do it, folks. I'm not giving Kevin Stefanski a pass. I'm going to judge him on how this season goes. I know the organization's giving him a pass. Some members of the media are giving him a pass. To some degree, I and everybody else have given him a pass. But I'm not going to do it. You got to win some games. You got to find a way. And this was just a pathetic performance to get humiliated like this. And I know they were a big underdog, and I expected the Ravens to cover. But the Browns were just like I didn't think the Browns defense would play as well as they did, honestly. But there's just so much you can do. There's just so much you can do when one side of the team is not holding up their end of the bargain. And so that's where the Browns are at. And now you got to play Green Bay next week. And they've looked amazing so far. Detroit bounced back after an awful week 1. You go there the week after. I mean, I don't know. How are the Browns going to win a game in the next 2? They're going to be a big underdog at home next week to the Packers. They'll be more than a field goal underdog at home, and they'll be more than a touchdown underdog in Detroit. And so this team is staring down the barrel of an 0-4 here. I don't think there's any doubt about it. So to me, and I know it's maybe not ideal with the Packers coming to town next week because their defense has played great so far. Packers have looked awesome in their first 2 games. They've outscored their opponents, 2 good teams, in the Lions and Commanders, now both at home, but they beat them 54-31, handily over both those teams. But if I'm the Browns, if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm starting Dillon Gabriel next week. What is the point of continuing to roll Joe's old ass out there? I just don't see what the point is. So I'm turning the page, and I'm going to Dillon Gabriel. Let's see what he's got. No time like the present. I'm sick of, they're better off if they sit. He's a 3rd-round pick, dude. I don't need him to sit. Go out there and play. Let's see what you got. And it's going to be hard because he's not overly talented. The team around him is not very good. I know it's going to be a huge challenge. Yeah, and there were some reports that DeWand had been hurt. Apparently, I just got a text from somebody that said DeWand was just getting his ass kicked. That's why he came out of the game. So you look at the offensive line. Conklin's hurt already. He's a free agent at the end of the year. Joel and Wyatt played well last week. I'll wait to see the PFF grades this week. Pocic was not good last year. He's struggled so far this season. All 3 of those guys are free agents. DeWand is the only guy under contract that's a starter, and he's been terrible so far in 2 games. Absolutely terrible. None of the guys on the bench, except for Tavon Jenkins, who they signed as a free agent, but he's a free agent. It's only a 1-year contract. He's a proven entity. The rest of the guys, they all stink. They've shown nothing. They drafted Zach Zinner. So far, he's done nothing. I mean, what can I be excited about besides Fannin and the 2 rookie running backs on the Browns, on the offense? There's nothing. Denzel Ward got banged up today. That was unfortunate. But I just don't want to. Give us something to be excited about. Play Dillon Gabriel. Play him for the next 3-4 weeks. Let's see what he looks like. And if he stinks, then play Shedeur Sanders. At least people will be excited about it. The team's not going anywhere. They're going to lose their next 2 games. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who starts. Well, I'll tell you, Joe, unless one of these young quarterbacks shocks us, they're going to lose. By the way, Andre Schmidt made all his kicks today. Let's get some reaction. I know there's plenty. Ryan says, start Flacco next week. Second half, start Gabriel. Why? What are we waiting for? Aaron says, Dilly time, no more Flacco. Jeffrey Champion, we have more issues than just Joe Flacco. Yeah, no shit. No shit. There's a lot of issues on this team. Because outside of the potential of some of the guys you drafted this year, your general manager, Andrew Berry, has been absolute ass as the GM of the Browns. You could debate all you want about Stefanski's job. I've mostly been on his side. I was leaning towards firing him last year. I said they should fire him, and then I changed my mind. I flip-flopped. But to me, there's no case that Andrew Berry deserves to keep his job. He does not have his ability to pick talent is mostly shit. Now, again, I like what he did this year. I'll give him credit for that. So you say, well, maybe he's improving. I don't know. I don't want to wait any longer. I really don't. Big J-Bone, our corner seemed to fade as the game went on. Again, guys, what do you expect him to do? I mean, Lamar didn't have a huge game. You're facing a guy who's been a two-time MVP. He was 19 of 29, 225. I know he had 4 touchdowns, but 3 of them were on a short field. So I don't know what more you can ask. You can't ask the defense to do everything every game. It's unfair. Cowboys beat the Giants in overtime, by the way, 40-37. Wild game there. Other early games, Bills crushed the Jets. New England in a wild game beat Miami. San Fran over New Orleans. Detroit put up 52. I mentioned the Seahawks beat the Steelers. It was 31-17 there. Bengals beat the Jaguars 31-27 on a touchdown in the final minute. Rams over the Titans. And is that it? Yeah, that's it. Arizona leads Carolina 10-3 in the second. Indy leads Denver 13-7 in the second. And the Eagles lead the Chiefs in that game 6-0 in the first. And they got the ball in the red zone again. Nathan, at least the Cleveland Guardians swept the White Sox today. Yes, they did. I'll have more on the Guardians, not in this podcast, but Guardians are still in the mix. Hopefully the Mariners can lose. What are the Rangers doing? Rangers were tied in the 9th at last check. The Rangers lost. Yeah, Rangers lost. Bet scored 3 in the 9th. So that's good news. All right. Let's see what other people have to say. The Big J-Bone, the offense looks totally unprepared. Stephen Allen Spencer, Dylan Gabriel looks like he can handle starting. We have no idea. He played in garbage time. I mean, the game was over, but he did fine. Jay said, I'm glad your Bengals won. Hope the Browns get the number 1 and number 2 picks. Yeah, that's true. The Bengals win from a draft pick perspective helped. Helped in this game. Smish Fishton says, is the microphone in Bull's mouth? Back up a bit, Bull. It sounds muffled as hell. This is where I always am. Does it sound muffled? Max, do I sound muffled? All right. I got word that I'm not muffled. Nathan, we virtually shut down Derrick Henry, and the Browns still lose. Yeah, I mean, if the offense, the defense held the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half, negative yards in the fourth quarter last week. Derrick Henry averaged less than 2 yards a carry, and you lost both games. DS, all roads of this disaster franchise lead straight back to the Haslams. Yeah, those hillbillies suck. They suck. The Haslams suck across the board. They're terrible owners. Stuns me when we have some dullards defend the Haslams because they spend money. the only thing they do well. Yes. That's been the common denominator as the Browns have sucked forever. By the way, Jay, Henry doesn't always play like shit. That's misleading. That's not true. He did today. He had a 100-yard game last year in one of the games, or was it 2 years ago? He's had some good games against the Browns. He's had some really bad ones. That one with his last game with the Titans, he was terrible. Nathan, Flacco is definitely to blame for the interception today. Yes, he is. And he should have thrown another one. He got a break. One of his touchdowns, if we go with Jay Crawford's scoring system, special scoring system, he loses a touchdown and gains an interception. Ronald Archer, Myles Garrett will be the next Joe Thomas, a wasted Hall of Fame career. DXTG, play whoever, it won't matter. There's no quarterback's answer in college either. You can't. It's too early to say. People are so being ridiculously reactionary about the quarterback play in college this year. First of all, the statistics don't prove anything. The quarterback going to be good or bad. To say in the second week of September that there's no quarterbacks in this year's draft is as stupid as saying that this is a loaded quarterback draft. Both are dumb. It's way too early to tell. Nathan, at least Andre Schmidt showed that he can make a field goal and an extra point. 2 extra points. Jeffrey, the offensive line was terrible. Yes, he is. Yes, it is. Atlanta Dave, offensive line is old and slow. Sean, Sampson bailed out Flacco last week. Many plays were lateral on the line, and Sampson made plays. Big J-Bone, Bull, you were right. He looks old. You know what? My man Jay Crawford and a couple other people were like egregious last year. They were all worked up that I said didn't think he was that good when I gave him a low grade and everybody else thought he played well. I did not. I thought he looked mediocre at best last week, and he was terrible in this game. Let's see. B Skrill, salute, Bull, salute, chat. This is some embarrassing shit. Please, please, please play the rookies. Nathan, once again, the Browns ruin another great sports weekend for the fans of the Guardians, Buckeyes, and Browns. J-Bone, Cam Mitchell is trash. B. Skrills, Flacco is done. Sean says O-line is old, slow, can't run block. Nathan, Bull, you're absolutely spot on with your take on the Browns' offensive line looking like a huge heaping pile of shit. Yeah, Big J-Bone. It looks like garbage. Bull, what about Zinter? I mean, he's shown no signs, from what I've been told, that he can play. And, again, I just got a text that they're not going to play Dylan Gabriel next week. That's because this organization has their head up their ass. Everybody with the Browns thinks they're so fucking smart. The Haslams think they're smart. The GM, the coach, the announcers, everybody thinks they're so freaking smart and that the rest of us are dumb peasants. They're the stupidest and worst run organization in all of football. Maybe all of sports. It's a freaking clown show in Berea. I had a friend of mine who's been a season ticket holder for years said to me this morning, he's like, I got to give up these season tickets to the Browns. What am I doing? I invest all this energy. I invest all this money. And what do I get for it? Nothing. You get nothing. Zinter was a healthy scratch. Can't play. Coach Rasul said Flacco can't even run for his life. You're right. He's so damn slow. Viva Hernando. Time for the super machine Gabriel. Matt Perry Thomas, just play Shador until they do right about Shador. They will not even win. What do right? He's not ready to play. I don't play Gabriel. He played. They feel like he played better. He's more ready. Play him. And then a month from now, if Gabriel can't get it done, then play Shador. I don't know. Everybody's just lost their fucking mind when it comes to Shador, one way or the other. He's going to be great. He's going to be this. He was I mean, just chill out. I get it. The Browns are fuck-ups. Nobody knows if Shador can play. Everybody's such a genius. I think I'm a genius, too. I'm wrong half the fucking time also. Steven, Flacco is dying weekly to get that mentor clipboard holder job. The team wants him as a backup plan, not a starter. Felix. I'm glad they lost. I hope they lose every game until they do right by that young man. How do you want... Well, the Browns are the only team that wanted him, Felix. I like Shador. I want to see him play at some point. But stop being crazy here. Kill switch. Get well soon, Denzel, because our secondary is dog shit. I mean, Greg, listen, I'll give Greg Newsome credit. He's played well. Greg's done a nice job. I thought that catch that Hopkins made, I mean, he had good coverage. What are you going to do? Cameron Mitchell, shit. Miles Harden, shit. Those guys can't play. For years, there's been a lot of talk about the secondary being a strength. I just don't see it. Denzel Ward's obviously been great, and Greg, as I said, is playing well now, but a strength? Let's see. Nathan, the Haslams clearly don't give a shit about the fans, the Browns, or the city of Cleveland. Of course they don't. 95% of the owners don't give a rat's ass about any of you. 95% of billionaires don't give a rat's ass about any of us. If you don't know that, you're out of your mind. We're peons to them. This team doesn't have a wide receiver one. Said Tillman is a good two. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's a better one than Said Tillman is a two. I think Jerry Jeudy's a lower tier one. Cedric Tillman, I think there's some potential. I argued it this week, but he's clearly not a good number two at this point. And it's just, I'm particularly irritated because I know they're not going to play Gabriel. And I want to see Gabriel play because I also want to see Shador Sanders play. I want them both to play. I want to see what they've got. And it's probably not going to be great considering the talent around them. But let's give it a shot. Let's get the ball rolling here. What is the point of continuing to throw Joe Flacco out there? Browns, a Florida boy. Browns' problem is the O-line, mid-wide receivers, mid-running backs. We don't know about the running backs. It's not fair yet. It was Judkin's first game, Sampson's second game. They got no offensive line. Frank Tillman is the best of wide receiver 3. Berry continues to whiff on drafting wide receivers. Yeah, I mean, traded a second-round pick for Elijah Moore, too. Jesus. Kwame B, Adam, we want Shador, not Gabriel. Kwame B, you know that's not happening. Dude, Shador may get a chance later. We can't see Shador until we see Gabriel. So let's see Gabriel. You may not like it. You may think there's a freaking conspiracy theory. I don't know what to tell you. You want to feel like the organization's sabotaging him? I don't believe that, but this organization is so freaking stupid. I don't trust anything they do. Uh, I'm Shaylo. Bull, please do not have a stroke behind this team. I'm all right. Kyle, hey, Bull, if the guards squeeze in, who's your top 3 starters? I'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm not in the mind frame for the guards right now. Although, kudos to them. They're playing really well down the stretch. I don't know if they're going to make it. They're going to have to win almost every game. But kudos to them. I think it's really, really good job. Darla Kasia. Shador sucks. You don't know that either. I can't stand the like. I'm just going to get down a road that I don't want to go down. Just stop saying crazy stuff, people. We don't know if to say Shador stinks is stupid. If to say he's been wronged or he's owed a starting job, or that's stupid too, or that he's a short thing. We don't know. He hasn't played a single moment in the NFL yet. Nor should he have at this point. But it's time for one of the rookies to start, and the Browns apparently think Gabriel's the better one. But considering they get everything wrong, they're probably wrong, and maybe Shador should start. D squared. Ownership and Stefanski suck. Atlanta Dave. Samson got blown up on pass protections 3 times. Love words. Adam, thank you for your excellence. I appreciate it. Love words. I don't understand the people that are tweeting free Shador. Nobody else wanted him. That's not a criticism. That's a fact. You think somebody's picking him up? If the Browns cut him, he'd be on a practice squad. Don't tell me about the Browns' total yards. The Browns' total yards don't mean anything. They got a lot of them in garbage time. Wahoo fan. Haslam's so stupid he probably thinks the Browns are a playoff team. He probably does. Eric, Factory of Sadness. Yolanda, y'all wanted Flacco and Dillon. The Browns reap what they sow. I don't even know what to say. Who wanted Dillon Gabriel? Nobody wanted Dillon Gabriel. I didn't want Dillon Gabriel. And how are we reaping what we sow on Dillon Gabriel? He hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't played yet. It's just everybody's just getting crazy. We're all losing our minds. The world's crazy. The country's crazy. Everybody's crazy right now. But you know what? I got to pull it together. I'm going to pull it together. I'm glad I made you laugh, Debbie. Trade for Baker. John, how many losses we need for the GM and coach to be fired? I don't know. I mean, there's a chance they go 3-14 again and not fire anybody because they have this plan for next year. It's always next year with the Browns. Everything is next year. All the time. Next year, next year, next year. It drives you crazy. But that, what are you going to do? Bunch of smarmy guys in this organization. All right, folks. Again, if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button. Browns are 0-2. They're hosting Green Bay next week. I'm going to say they're a 4.5-point dog. They'll be in Detroit the week after that, assuming they lose to Green Bay, which they will. They'll be a double-digit dog in Detroit. I think there's a lot to like about the defense. I think there's a lot to like about the rookies on offense. And I just want to see the rookies play. And I want to see both. Dillon Gabriel's getting first crack. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. That's just the way it is. I spent the whole preseason saying they should give Sanders a shot. For whatever reason, they don't think he's, apparently, you know what? I don't know what the hell's going on. But let's see Dillon Gabriel. And if he stinks, then let's see Shador Sanders. And if he stinks, let's see what I got. I could be a fat two out there. I could be a tall Dillon Gabriel. I don't know. But, hey, at least if Dylan Gabriel, and especially if Shedeur Sanders play at some point, at least it's the unknown. It's the possible excitement. You know? So, I did see the Schefter report today. I'm not buying it. Obviously, I don't think Schefter made it up, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that Shedeur didn't want to play for the Ravens. I just don't buy that. All right, folks. Thank you all for joining me. A lot of people here today. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the tweets, for all the comments. I will be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show tomorrow at 11 a.m. I will be in the bullpen with Dustin Fox Tuesday at 9 a.m. And, I'll be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. I'm away at the end of the week. And I'll have Zach Jackson on with me. We'll have an Ultimate Guardian show Wednesday morning. Zach Meisel and I. Until the next time, love you all. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you next time. Oh, thanks to Shane and Max as well. Talk to you next time on the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet River. See you, everybody.